All right. Well, hello and welcome everyone to tonight's Stand with Service workshop Zoom session. I'm glad you all could join us. A little bit of background on me. I'll be your MC tonight. I served in NCCC, AmeriCorps NCCC as a team leader a few years ago, so I'm no stranger to service, and my service year absolutely changed my life in so many beautiful ways, and I feel very proud to have been able to serve. And that then led me to being a volunteer with Stand with Service team, and I'm happy to be here tonight with you all as well. Uh, it warms my heart to think about national service, and so I'm honored to be here, doing what I can with all of you all. So before we kind of get into the big swing of things, we want to begin this meeting with some updates. Some of you might have heard last week a U.S. District Court judge ruled that the AmeriCorps grant terminations were unlawful, and ordered grants to be restored in 24 plaintiff states. So this injunction also called for the demobilized NCCC members to return to service, which is really great news. But we know that there's still a long way to go, right? There's still big questions of what does this really like all mean and everything like that. And then there's also still appropriation dollars being withheld, staff are not fully restored, and the budget for AmeriCorps in FY26, which President Trump has zeroed out, will be debated in our subcommittee on July 21st. So all of this speaks to the importance of our continued advocacy and community building work. But it also gives us a little bit more breathing room as our very clear ask and the deadline has come into better focus, which is that we want Congress to support a robust funding for AmeriCorps and FY26 budget. And by holding events next week and the week of June 30th, we'll be making sure that AmeriCorps is on the minds of our representatives who are back home in their districts during this time. This Zoom session is the last time that we'll be going to be getting together before the events start happening next week and the following week. And I do want to take this moment to kind of officially announce that we started an Instagram account. So go follow us at Stand with Service. Please take a moment to do that when you can. And when you're posting about your events, please tag us. Just use at Stand with Service when you're posting on Instagram. And if you're posting on any other social platforms as well as Instagram, you can use the hashtag Stand with Service so that we can keep track and see all of the um, amazing events and things that you all are doing. Also, if you haven't yet, please make sure to add your events to the Stand with Service event campaign on Action Network. This way, Stand with Service and also those who are interested in attending an event can easily find them. It's a real useful tool, so please, by all means, use it. So briefly, I also want to recap the campaign objectives. So with this campaign that we're in the midst of right now, we want to firstly build local teams who can meet this moment of action together. We want to plan activities that highlight the impact of national service, especially for reps who are physically in your districts next week and the week of June 30th. And then lastly, we want to build on our momentum and bring more people into this movement to protect the spirit of service across the country. So tonight, we're going to hear from a team organizer out in the field and share their experience so far in team formation. We'll also hear about a new virtual initiative to stay engaged beyond in-person events. And then we'll also have time to break out into workshops based on how events are going at your local level so that you all can access the support you need and have a platform to ask questions, collaborate, and connect with each other so you feel prepared and ready for next week events and the following week as well. So, with that, I want to warmly welcome our speaker out of New York and the New York Stand with Service team. Johanna is a demobilized NCCC member and is going to share about the process of forming a team and what that's been like. So, welcome, Johanna. Please take it away.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. As Poppy said, I was an NCCC member this past year who was demobilized in April. Um, After being demobilized, I felt a personal loss of direction and of connection with my teammates and the communities where I'd served. I was grieving also for the loss in our country. Right now, when so many Americans are struggling and we feel so divided, um, AmeriCorps, we need AmeriCorps now more than ever. Since organizing the Stand with Service, I've gotten back some of the connection and spirit that I lost when demobilized in April. Our New York team is planning a statewide virtual event where we will first have speakers, including New York District 20 Representative Paul Tonko, and then we will have, in the second half, a letter writing workshop for people to write to their district representatives. Our team definitely had a little rough, awkward stage. At our very initial meeting, we had very few people. We didn't know each other, and we didn't have much of a shared idea or direction. And this made it very hard to come together and plan. After that meeting, I personally felt discouraged, and I was worried that we weren't going to be able to come together as a team. After our first meeting, I felt almost hopeless, but I wanted to make every effort I could. I reached out to the people in my state to establish another meeting, and at the exact same time, another pair of organizers working together reached out to coordinate people in New York and provide some resources. So the three of us decided to meet over Zoom, and we successfully planned out a framework for getting the New York team together. We came up with an event plan to propose to the group, a meeting agenda to keep things on track, and decided that I would take the lead on team facilitating. When the team meeting took place, we already had a potential event direction and we could focus on planning our next steps. Having a person to facilitate, organize, and make decisions when needed, I think really has helped keep up our team momentum. So my advice would be that if you see your group or state needing that kind of direction, you can be that direction. Another small thing that made a really big difference, for me at least, was at the beginning of our second meeting, we did a small activity where each of us shared two things from our day, one thing that had went well and one thing that didn't go so well. Everyone was really open in their sharing and engaged listening to everybody else. And taking this moment aside for a little human connection shifted things drastically for me from feeling disconnected to more like a connected team. I think our New York team works together really well. Like Stand with Services team has said, it's not about one person having all the answers. So all of us are focused on what we can do together. As a result, we communicate frequently, we contribute in areas where we have skills, and we ask for help and input in areas where we don't have as many skills. In terms of planning, one of the most important things for us was quickly making a plan and then going for it. This was especially important on our tight timeline. I made an effort not to worry about making the event big enough or perfect enough. We planned an event that was achievable based on our capacity as a team, made a solid plan, and then started making it happen. It's also been crucial for us to stay organized. We've firmly established our communication and built up a shared workspace in Google Drive with resources and living documents for planning. We make sure to have shared goals, deadlines, and to make sure everyone knows their next steps. A big success we had was getting Representative Tonko to speak at our event. We thought it was going to be unlikely, but worth a shot, so we just reached out to his office once we had a rough event plan. And I think attempting difficult but worth a shot things and having a backup plan if they don't work out has been super effective for developing our event. Lastly, individual initiative and determination was very important for me personally. It can feel hard to get engaged when confronted with a big undertaking like the one we are all together working on. I personally got myself motivated by having a very accepting mindset. Nothing is ever going to be perfect, so I accepted that we had a small team and we weren't going to be able to do lots of big in-person rallies and things like that. I also accepted that I personally would make mistakes sometimes. After this, it was easy for me to see that any action we take, however small or imperfect, is good and wonderful and making a difference, which is what it's all about. We have power that we can use to take action for this cause that we all care deeply about. We're all learning as we go, and I'm so excited for what we'll accomplish in New York and nationwide. I can't wait to get things done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Johanna. Oh, that was just such a beautiful, you know, so beautiful to hear how the New York team was able to come across, like come together as a group, and it can be really daunting, and it's really beautiful to hear how um what those successes and where those successes came from. It's honestly amazing to hear. Thank you so much for for sharing. And again, as a member who is demobilized, it's also great to hear that this has been something that has been helpful to you as well. I can't imagine what this summer was like and has been like, and was probably not what you expected it to be. And so thank you. It's an honor to hear from you. So, yeah. Um, Next up, I want to introduce Amy Salinas from On3Learn, who has been offering training and technical assistance, and you all might have heard her last time and the time prior, if you were here. To the she's been offering technical assistance to the AmeriCorps field for many years. She's a longtime AmeriCorps and AmeriCorps senior supporter who has an acute understanding of how AmeriCorps, as a broader agency, is a local issue for everyone. She's going to share a bit about a new virtual initiative that we are launching on June 23rd. Amy, the floor is yours. Oh, do you need help on you muting? There we go.
Thank you. I can't unmute. Welcome, everybody. It's so great to be here. This group always energizes me, and I don't know how I'm going to follow Johanna, but I'm going to try. Spectacular. I'm so excited about what's happening in New York. Um, you know, some of us, I think, have been experiencing some situations where, like Johanna was saying, like things aren't going as we had regularly intended it to. And so we've maybe gotten a little disappointed, or we found other avenues and pivoted and tried something else. Regardless of where any of you all are now, it's really important that we recognize that all of us are at different levels of energy, of movement, of capacities, and people power. And because of this, we wanted to find a way to not lose people, to engage as many people as we can, knowing that, again, not all locales have planned events yet and are still in the process of that forming time that Shannon was talking about in the chat. So we came up with an idea that we hope will allow people to still take some important actions at this very pivotal time. Say that again, this very pivotal time, but also still focusing on that long-term game of building community, because that's something we want to be a part of this in everything we do. And so we hear from people who do advocacy work for a living and who are experts in this field that keeping the pressure up on our political officials is crucial, and that phone calls are the best way to do that, better than emails. And no matter if our senators or representatives are home in their district offices or not, we have the ability to reach their staff who are supposed to log all those calls and the call topics. So we are going to host our first virtual, what I'm calling the all call in event next Monday, June 23rd, or not next Monday event, Monday, which will be not this coming Monday, but the Monday after that. June 23rd at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, where we're going to come together in the Zoom meeting space and we're going to dedicate some time to get to know one another. Again, like continuing to build that community, prep people for how they call and what they will say, and then allow time for everyone that's in that space to make their calls and then come back and document and celebrate what we just did. And our hope is that we can get as many people on so we can do this group activity to get, the phones flooded on this day and time. And the main output would be to have everyone call their senators, their US representative. You can call your state political officials. And as people feel comfortable and have time, I say we go all the way down to local officials and call city council folks or county officials. Any way to get some attention about what's going on with AmeriCorps and how that's impacting our local and state areas. So governors, mayors, I like that. Yes. We're going to put, and they might have already put in, I'm not looking at the chat, a link in the chat to register now. We're going to have resources available, like how to look up your folks, how to find their contact information. We're going to give that messaging guidance because we want people to feel very prepared for this and to really focus on the key asks that we need them to deliver on in the coming weeks. And we hope that this will be just the first event of its kind, that there will be many more. Our goal is to make this a national gathering where we can have fun together on the call while focusing on our own individual political officials and getting the word to them. So I'm going to ask all of you who are on the call, one, will you join us? If you are willing, and you all better, please register at the link that was provided and keep an eye out for more information. We're going to email from the Action Network. You'll see an email from standwithservice@gmail.com at some point in the coming days. But I also want you all to share this with as many of your networks as you can on your social media to get the word out, because the more people come, the better. And again, that continues to build the community and the momentum that we want to make sure doesn't stall. So thanks, everyone. And if you have any questions, just put them in the chat and we'll make sure we get to them.
Thank you so much, Amy. I appreciate it. I know I've never been more psyched to make a handful of phone calls. It's daunting. I'm a Zoomer, a Gen Z kid, and so making a phone call is a bit daunting, but there's something a bit more approachable about it when I know that others are doing it with me. It's for a good reason, and I feel like I can have that support and even maybe workshop on how to say it. Um, yeah, so thank you again. Um, we have in the chat the registration link, and again, if you need to get if it needs to be re-upped, please just let us know and we'll put it in the chat again. Another event that we also want to highlight for those, we know that there are events happening all over for a lot of different reasons, as well as the events for this campaign next week and the following week. So we want to highlight an event that is happening this Friday. America Learns and Stand with Service are hosting a sign making event. So the link for that will also be dropped in the chat in a moment. Come join us and have some fun making signs that you can carry with you during the events that you and your community teams are being a part of, as well as other events that you'll hear more about with America Learns. It's going to be a great event on Friday. Um, Real community moment for us to come together and show out. So we heard from New York sharing about what they've been doing locally. We've heard, these other options for us to be making sure that we can come together and make a moment and make a mark on what we're here to do. And next week is going to be a really big week. And so on June 25th, we also want to highlight and have you save the date for June 25th. We're going to then reconvene for a celebration. Of course, there's going to be events that happen after that and actions that are happening afterwards, but we want to make sure that we have time to celebrate the wins and celebrate the amount of work that has happened and what we've been able to accomplish so far and give ourselves that opportunity to just pause for one moment. So join us on June 25th. So now I'm going to bring Jake Schlachter, founder of We Own It and member of the Stand with Service team, up to who's going to then explain the next part of tonight's call, the workshop component. Go ahead, Jake.
Thanks, Poppy. Good to be with you all again this evening. So as Poppy explained, this is our last time we're all going to get together before folks are launching events next week. So we thought it would be great to just have a touch base, kind of open it up and workshop whatever questions you might have or challenges or things you want to share, exciting moments or plans for your team. So we're going to open up in just a minute 2 breakout rooms. So breakout 1, Amy and I are going to hold down and think about, like, if you're still kind of bringing your team together, trying to find your people, wondering how you can identify more members of the Ameriverse where you are, How can we identify other members of the community that maybe aren't AmeriCorps, but also care about, communities as they should be? Those kinds of team formation, organizing questions. Come join us in room 1. We'd love to talk through it. Maybe you're past that. You got your team, and you're into technical implementation. You've got questions maybe about event planning or walking through things, or you're looking to share some inspiring details about your own. Maybe you've got questions about the Action Network tools, things like that, of a technical or a planning nature. We've got breakout room 2. It's going to be held down by Poppy and AB. And maybe you are just joining this campaign, kind of at the 3-quarter mark, and wondering what all this is about, and still kind of in your discernment process. Feel free to join either of the 2 rooms if you just like to hang out, or we'll be in the lobby as well. We have a discernment lobby that can answer all your questions, and our Stand with Service folks will be here for you. So with that, I'm going to open up the rooms, and y'all should be able to move yourselves, but somebody let me know if that doesn't work.